Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. We have a unique occupation to talk about today, and it's brought to us by a gentleman on my left who is Pete Waldenmaier. Pete came up from Winchester to be with us, and we'll talk some about his occupation in a minute. Meanwhile, thanks for joining us, Pete.
You're welcome.
And how about you work, well, Winchester, you're in Franklin County, you'll work Coffee County, and what about what's your territory?
Yep. I go up to Grundy County, go down to Fayetteville pretty regularly. I'll go where I need to go.
You'll go, okay. Very good. And so give the folks a little background. Tell us about Pete.
Well, I was born up north in New Jersey. I lived in Virginia for a while. I worked as a county planner for one of the counties up there, and I retired in 2014. And for 10 years before that, I was planning my retirement and planned on coming to Tennessee. This is the best place I've ever been. I love it here.
Yeah.
And came down here, set up a little business, got a farm or raise hogs, and I have this little business going.
Yeah, okay. And you're married?
Yes.
You have one son?
Yes.
And who's a chemist out in
Oregon.
Yeah, so he gets to travel to the coast, and I have one of those too. So, okay, let's take a short commercial break, folks, and we'll find out what Pete's up to.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once. And deliver to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not one penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
We're talking today, folks, with Pete Waldenmaier. Pete is from Winchester, and he works in a little larger territory than that. We'll find out what Pete's up to and how he goes about it. So, Pete, tell the folks, what is it you do?
Okay, I have a company called Bee Busters, but we don't collect bees. We have nothing to do with honeybees at all. We collect yellow jackets and hornets and a certain kind of wasp, locally known as a guinea wasp. These bugs that I collect, they go to a lab in Pennsylvania where they extract the venom from every individual bug, and they use that to make allergy medicine for people who have allergies to the stings. There's a lot of people killed every year just from a single sting because they have allergies. They get stung, they go into anaphylactic shock, and they drop dead.
Yeah.
And if the venom that from the bugs that I collect, that's used for immunotherapy, so that people can become desensitized to the venom, so that they don't die when they get stung.
Yeah. And the lab you're working with is in Pennsylvania, I think?
Yes,
right?
there's actually 2 locations now. They're in Pennsylvania, and there's another lab in Idaho. So depending on which bugs I have, that I've collected, some of them go to Pennsylvania, some of them go to Idaho now.
Yeah. Okay. Are those the only 2? Is that the only company in the country that?
Right now, it's the only company in the world. They're the sole provider of insect venom. Huh. They had a competitor in Europe, and it's my understanding that they got driven out of business by regulations. I don't remember what country it was in.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting big orders for the immediate future until that other company gets back up and running.
Okay. How'd you? Why are you doing this? How'd you get into this?
I got into this because I'm retired,
right.
And this is a great supplement for my pension. The service doesn't cost the customer anything. It's absolutely free. You call me up, I come to your house, and you show me where your yellow jacket nest or your hornet nest is, and I'll get my equipment together, get rid of those bugs, bring them with me, and there's no cost at all. Because I have a contract with the laboratory, I get paid by them.
You get paid by the lab. Yeah. That's interesting. It must. Well, I don't guess we need to get into the technicality quite that deep, but I was wondering how many bugs do they have to have in order to make a batch of the venom?
That I actually don't know. I usually my typical order is 8 to 10 pounds of hornets, and last summer they wanted 19 pounds of yellow jackets.
Were you able to get 19 pounds?
No.
No?
I think I got about 8.
Yeah.
It was not a good year for yellow jackets last year.
But among other things, what you need is to get the word around that you're here.
Yes, I'm here, and it's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. I mean, why fool around with getting yourself stung?
Oh, yeah.
If you can call somebody like me who will come and take care of the problem, and it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
You get rid of a dangerous menace, and I make a few bucks off the lab, and in the end, lives are saved.
Yeah. So you have an interesting life. You're retired, and you're a farmer, and you're a bee buster, and in the meantime, you do a little hunting and fishing and stuff like that.
I stay busy.
Yeah.
I stay busy.
Well, it sounds like you've worked yourself into a pretty good retirement. Yeah. So you just started this a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've been doing this since 2014. This will be my fourth year.
Your third
year.
Or fourth year.
Third year.
Yeah.
Well, I started
14,
immediately
15,
when
16.
I got here.
This will be your 4th year. Yeah.
We moved into the house, and I was up and running, catching bugs within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how did you get into this business anyway? This is a little bit of an unusual occupation.
Yeah. Well, my brother has been doing this for 25 years.
Okay.
He collects the same bugs out in Roanoke, Virginia. And when the director of the lab heard that I was moving to Tennessee, he called me and recruited me to become a collector. There was no collector in Tennessee, and this is a real honey hole for stinging insects, as everybody knows.
Yeah. So
go out, cut the grass.
Yeah.
Run
so
up your
in
pants
effect,
legs.
Because of your brother's connection, you got recruited by the lab.
Yes.
Because there was nobody in this area.
Yeah.
You're
and
the only one in Tennessee that you know of?
Yes, I'm the only collector in Tennessee, and there are only 40 of us in the country.
In the whole country.
In the whole country.
Is the South the best area, or is there?
It depends on what type of insect you're talking about. There's a lot of different insects go into the cocktail that goes for the allergy medicine.
The anti-allergy
Yeah,
cocktail?
yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Around here, it's yellow jackets, hornets, and this one type of paper wasp. I have one of the nests, the paper wasp nests here. There's some unhatched eggs on it.
Uh-huh. Is that the nest of the kind you collect?
Yes, they're the guinea wasps.
Okay.
There's a piece of paper with some insects that I brought. The guinea wasp is the big one, and the two smaller ones, those are the two species of yellow jacket that live around here.
Okay. We'll get the picture of those maybe in a minute, folks. Okay. Well, let's begin. We might as well go ahead and start talking about your. Well, first, we know that there's some people who are allergic, and that we lose some people every year. You got any idea how many people in the country?
Yes, it runs anywhere from 40 to 100 people. It depends on
a year.
Yeah, a year.
That die from being stung.
Interestingly enough, these critters are the most dangerous animal that lives in America. There are more people killed by being stung by yellow jackets and hornets and even honeybees than are killed by being bit by rattlesnakes, copperheads, sharks, bears, alligators, all of that stuff. You just don't see it on the news. But they are very dangerous. If you can't get away, even if you don't have allergies, if you can't get away, they will kill you. They will sting you to death.
Well, speaking of getting away, what do you do if you bump into a?
This is what you do. If you're out mowing your lawn and you get stung, always make the assumption that you're standing in the middle of the nest. And what you want to do is run. You want to run as fast and as far as you can, and then stop and start getting the yellow jackets off of you, because yellow jackets will, when they land on you, they stay on you, and they'll crawl around and continue to sting until they're really getting you, and then they'll continue to get you.
Unlike a snake, they get
one bite, or a hornet.
Hornets,
hornets are like fighter planes. They'll fly around, and they usually sting you in the face. They'll fly around, they'll come in, they'll grab you, sting you, and then they'll take off and they'll circle around, and then they'll come back and do it again. But a yellow jacket will just get on you and stay on you, and they crawl around and continue to sting. So you want to try to get as many of them off as you can.
But the hornet's kind of hard to get away from.
No. They will only follow you maybe 25 yards, 50 yards.
Okay.
But yellow jackets, they'll follow you for 100 yards, 200 yards. They're nasty. They're little, tiny things, but they are nasty.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of folks who've been experienced in one form or another by a bite from one of these, or sting from one of these critters. So, okay. Well, we want to find out how you go about that. But first, let's. So we don't get interrupted, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and see how you work.
Trucks, and more trucks. Keith Barnett here with the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and we have your next truck. From the Ford F-Series, the Ram, Chevrolet, or the GMC, then look no further than the Russell Barnett family. With over 350 new and pre-owned trucks to choose from, now is the time to buy. Stop by one of our 5 locations. That's Russell Barnett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Chevrolet GMC, Ford of Winchester, and Russell Barnett Ford and Kia of Tullahoma, or visit us on the web at russellbarnett.com. Why buy anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Pete Waldenmaier. Pete is from Winchester, but he works around the territory here, and he is doesn't sound like too red hot an occupation. He's an insect collector, but I think that stands to be a great deal of benefit for all of us, really. So, Pete, just take us through your operation.
Okay,
what happened?
It all starts with a phone call.
Okay.
You call. My wife will probably answer the phone. She usually takes the calls. And then I will come to your house, and it all depend on what kind of insect you have. If you have yellow jackets, I will come and I will take this, which is just a regular shop vac, a small shop vac, and a yellow jacket trap.
Trap?
Yes, this is a vacuum trap.
All right.
And we take this, well, I'm not going to plug that in. And what you do is you set this up with the nozzle right by the hole, and I'll turn that on, and everything that comes in or goes out of the nest will get sucked in to this bottle, but not into the vacuum because there's a screen in there. If you could see that,
yeah.
There's a screen in there.
That's a vacuum cleaner, basically.
Yeah, it's a vacuum cleaner, like a minnow trap, where it can come in one end, but it can't get out.
Right.
And I'll leave that run for about 45 minutes. And that will catch all the foragers, all the ones that are coming in and out to go get food. Then I will put this on, which is the best bee suit that you can get. They still manage to sting through this sometimes. If you can feel that.
Yeah.
Their stingers aren't long enough to reach me unless it's tight against my skin, where the glove would go.
Yeah.
Where this elastic is for the glove, sometimes I get stung right where that's pressing everything together.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll put that on, then I'll go over to where the hole is with a sledgehammer, and I'll put a board on the ground, and I will start beating on that board with the sledgehammer, and that will get the entire nest to come out to get me. And when they come out, most of them will end up going up that tube. When there's nothing else coming out anymore, I'll take this, I'll turn this valve, and I'll take the whole thing over to my truck, and I'll turn it upside down like this, and I'll fill that with carbon dioxide from a tank. That will knock these bugs out. It'll be as if they were dead.
Does it kill them or just
it knocks them out? Knocks them out, and you got to make sure they're knocked out, because then I'm going to open it up like this.
All right.
And I'm going to dump them into a metal tray.
Okay.
And if they're not unconscious, and they only stay unconscious for a couple of seconds.
Couple of seconds?
Yeah, not long.
Okay.
Not long. Less than a minute.
So for most of us,
especially once I dump them out, and now they're getting oxygen. Right? They wake up.
Yeah.
And when they wake up, they had better be being frozen.
They better be contained, or
Yes, they have to be. They
huh?
have to be contained because they remember exactly what they were doing, which is trying to sting the crap out of you.
Yeah.
So they go either into dry ice or into a freezer, and they have to die by freezing. Their venom will go bad almost immediately after they die, so they have to die by freezing. Then that will go home. It'll go into storage.
They stay
in my
frozen
freezer.
from that
They will
point.
stay frozen. They're never allowed to defrost. And that's what I would do if you had a yellow jacket nest. If you had a hornet nest, go about that completely differently.
Huh.
I'll come out there at night, and I'll put a step ladder under the nest. It's usually a big gray ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're hanging from the house, sometimes they're hanging from a tree. And I have a 16-foot step ladder. If it's low enough for me to get to, I'll take it. And I'll go up there at night with a red flashlight and a pillowcase. And I'll have that CO2 tank that I was talking about with a long hose attached to it. I'll go up there and I'll stick the nozzle from the hose in there, and I'll fill that nest with CO2 and knock those hornets out. And when I take that out, I'll plug the hole with a cotton ball, and I'll put a pillowcase over the whole thing and cut it loose or pull it off. Now it's inside the pillowcase, and I'll put some duct tape on the top so it doesn't open up. The whole case will come home with me, and that'll go in the freezer. In the morning, everything's frozen in there. I'll take that out. I'll rip the whole nest apart and individually take all those bugs out. And then the bugs go in a bag, and then eventually they go to the lab. The guinea wasps.
All the time they're still frozen.
Yes, they have to stay frozen. The guinea wasps, those I usually have to go hunting for. But one of the things, this is great that I'm talking to you now, is a lot of times the best spots for those is barns and garages. A lot of times people get infested with these things. They're locally abundant.
Here.
Yeah, that's these nests.
Right.
That's they kind of look like a yellow jacket, but they're much bigger. And these nests will be hanging upside down from the ceiling or from your overhang or whatnot. And a lot of farmers, their barns will be infested with these things because if you have one, there's a whole bunch of them in the area. And over succession of years, they'll keep coming back to the same barn and make a nest there every year until you've got 50, 60 of those things inside your barn. I love that. So if there's any farmers out there and your barn is infested with guinea wasps, please give me a call. I'll come and clean out your whole barn. You won't have that problem anymore. Otherwise, I have to go hunting them. The Civic Center in Tullahoma has been a real honey hole for me. I've gone out there every year for the last 3 years and collected all the guinea wasp nests off the Civic Center.
Civic Center, where are you?
Right here in Tullahoma.
Yeah. Okay.
To collect these things, I don't even wear the bee suit. I'll just put a hood over my head, put a windbreaker on, and those gloves, and a jar. And I just go up underneath of it, put the jar over the nest, slide it sideways till the nest falls down in there, and put the top on it. They have such a short attack radius. Those things are not aggressive at all. I could put my hand like this to it, and you got to get about that far away from them before they're going to try to sting you. But people get stung by them because they'll be painting their house, and you're leaning on the ladder. You got your hand up. You put your hand right on the nest, and then you get 8 stings on your hand.
Okay. Well, we're going to run out of time. Talk quickly about how you process this and get it to the lab.
Okay, they all get stored in my freezer. Every individual nest except for these, I'll bag a bunch of those together. They all go into plastic bags. Every hornet nest, every yellow jacket nest, it gets numbered and labeled, and I'll store them up in my freezers. And when the end of the season starts rolling by, when I get enough for a shipment, which is usually 4 full gallon bags would make a shipment. They go into this special shipping container, which gets filled up with dry ice to keep them frozen, and they get shipped off to either Pennsylvania or Idaho. And when they get them, they go through each one of those bags, and they have staff people out there who extract the venom out of every one of those bugs. And one of these yellow jacket nests in the end of the season will have 10,000 bugs in it.
Yeah.
And they've got to sit there and pull the venom sac out of every one of them.
Okay. And we do want to mention that the way you get paid for all of this is the lab pays you for your venom when you
Yes, they pay me by the pound for the different species, and the different species get, some are worth more than others. Some are. These wasps pay well.
Yeah.
Because it's normally you have to go out and hunt them, which takes a lot of time.
Well, unfortunately, folks, we have run out of time, as we frequently do. We could talk on and on about this. We do want to mention, and we'll emphasize when we come back, that the season really is kind of from August to October.
Yes.
And that's when you need to be on the lookout for them. So let's take a short commercial break, and we'll have to wrap up.
Buying a vehicle can be hard. It's even harder if you have poor credit health. But let the team here with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia help you. With our guaranteed credit approval process, we can help you find your next vehicle. But don't just take that from me. Here's a few of our customers and what they had to say.
They said they could approve us, and then the next thing was how much monthly. I thought it was going to be way too much. And sure enough, he did it what we asked for, what we needed it to be. He did it within. He will help you out.
Schedule your appointment with Dr. Credit at Russell Barnett Kia so you can drive away happy.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We've been talking today, folks, with Pete Waldenmaier from Winchester, who covers any territory in the surrounding area that he can get to, collecting insects which sting. We're all familiar with those, and he has a going business occupation. Pete, is there a short word you'd like to say to the folks?
Sure. Next time you're mowing your lawn and you get stung by a yellow jacket, or you brush past a hornet nest and one of them gets you in the face, don't reach for the gas, reach for the telephone and call Bee Busters. I'll come out, I'll take care of the problem, I'll take those bugs away, and it won't cost you a nickel.
Okay.
And in the process, you will be saving people's lives.
Very good. All right. Well, interesting occupation. Thanks very much for taking time to join us,
Thank
Pete.
you, Tom.
And we'll talk to you next time, folks.